Namaste everyone, today we'll discuss the fate of Berserk manga and even anime. So, what will happen to Berserk? Well, as you all know, Berserk, one of the greatest manga ever written or drawn by the late great maestro Kentaro Miura, remains incomplete due to his untimely demise. Miura started the manga officially from 1989, a tale of a black swordsman who is out on his path of revenge, hacking on demons all the while being haunted by his past, both good and bad, remembering what he had and also the betrayal that took everything away from him. And also he wields a humongous sword too. I know that synopsis does not do justice to the behemoth that is Berserk, but that was enough for the young me who had recently borrowed the Berserk DVD from his friend in exchange with the Naruto or Bleach CD. I don't quite remember. What I do remember is falling in love with Guts, the band of Hawks, Griffith, Casca, Ricket, Pippin, and the whole gang. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the Berserk 1997 anime or read the manga, I highly suggest you to do so. If not, skip to the time shown on the screen. With every victory the band got after fighting tooth and nails, I rejoiced with them. I fell in love with the world of Berserk and moreover the layered characters and the dynamics between them, all the while making us forget the sinister taste of the beginning episodes. It's not to say that it wasn't brutal, as the character Guts from his birth was smack in the middle of violence, always struggling to survive in this cold but magnificent world, with each impactful event in his young life chipping away at his soul, further building his character rather than strengthening it. So, when the story entered the Golden Age arc in the anime, Guts finally is able to get the semblance of what he had not experienced all those years: love, compassion, care, warmth of a touch of a loved one, which in return drives him to discover himself, as the Guts till now simply did what he had to do in order to survive from one battlefield to the next. But now he strived for something more. He wanted to find out his calling or his purpose in life. What was his destiny? Which unintentionally formed the first crack in the impenetrable armor of a band of Hawks, quickly followed by the downfall of Hawks as Griffith just tumbled down, taking everyone else along with him. And while Guts realizes that what he had been searching for was with him all along, someone to belong to and somewhere to belong to, which he had lacked growing up. Then came the eclipse, which let's just say was pretty shocking, to say the least. The series does end in a cliffhanger of sorts in terms of fate of the characters. So the young me, completely infatuated with the series by now, searched for it and found out that that was it. For the anime, that is. As a sliver of hope, there was a manga series updating as slow as a turtle carrying another huge turtle, but updating nonetheless. And what I discovered was so much more. My thirst for the info had not only been quenched, the manga brought levels of satisfaction I cannot comprehend, and hence remains on top position in my list of greatest manga of all time. Berserk anime had fantastic dialogues, animation was just good enough to make you fall in love with the story, but it came nowhere near the masterful level of the manga. Berserk does not use violence only for the sake of violence, it uses violence to sell you the impact of cruelty that befolds your very eyes, with some moments inspired by some very real life or historical incidents. The character growth across the arcs, sheer amount of character depth, and such beautiful and detailed imagery gives you chills every time you read the manga. The series follows Guts around his path of revenge ever since, just hungry in pain, surrounded by broken characters trying to mend themselves, only to break again, to rise again with a stronger resolve and better understanding. During the last chapters, Guts was at his happiest, Casca finally regaining her sanity and genuinely at peace as he has ever been since the eclipse. But that does not mean we were satisfied, as the history of Skull Knight was teased at. Finally, our curiosity were going to be satiated with next chapter whenever they were going to be released. Sadly, on May 20, 2021, it was announced late great Kentaro Miura had left us, leaving fans all around the world in a moment of grief. If not for him, I would have never started reading mangas and stumbled into this amazing world filled with amazing stories. If not for him, I would not have so many memories of. So, What does it mean for the Guts and the gang? Is Berserk going to remain the beautiful incomplete masterpiece? Yes, it could be the way to go for the Berserk manga. Not every story necessarily requires the completion. It can stay as it is, with most characters at peace after such a long and harsh journey. Finally resting their eyes, with kids being kids, with stench of blood and cruelty of war literally at a faraway place across the horizon. As of now, no new announcements have been made signaling the fate of Berserk manga, with only the tweet from late mangaka's assistant that read, "We will do our best" as a last beacon of hope for fans everywhere. As you know, in the anime front, Berserk has been adapted about 3 times, with first one being the 1997 anime series and also the best out of 3. Second one being the 3 movies regarding Golden Age saga. Third and the worst would be the most recent 2016 adaptation, which was simply horrendous, with crappy animation, also mix mashing and skipping over of some important arc and beautiful character moments. But there was a spark of hope when Adi Shankar of Castlevania fame, also the upcoming Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry, and the executive producer of Dread, which was very good, and shockingly, the epic gangster saga Gangs of Wasseypur. Yes, that Gangs of Wasseypur. When he said he was keen to adapt Berserk anime and he would not do the Golden Age arc again, and also would bring it back in the 2D hand-drawn style to keep the vibe closer to the manga, me, along with lots of Berserk fans worldwide, prayed and hoped for it to happen soon. That being said, it has been nearly 2.5 years since then, so we will see when it happens. As a Berserk fan, I hope it happens and finally gets the justice it deserves. With that being said, please check out Berserk, both manga and anime 1997 one if you haven't. I'm sorry that I spent a whole chunk of video talking about how Berserk has impacted me, but it had to be said to state to you how much Berserk matters to me and will continue to do so. Also comment down below your most shocking moment from the manga. Mine would be the adult attack. I know it wasn't the bloodiest or the goriest, but the sheer mentality behind it and what it meant gave me nausea for days. With that, we shall end this video. If you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, and a sub to the channel would be Bobbal. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Ronin signing out.